All right, Lexi, I met you. I don't remember which location, but I came up to chat with you because we were looking to interview folks before the race, and you were a random person wondering about a bicycle. And then I was like, oh, look, HYROX featured her. They must have similar taste that I do in talking to interesting people. So now here we are, and I was looking at your kind of origin story, and you had me at Facebook Marketplace weights
Yeah.
because I own
Yeah.
a lot of the I own a lot of those, and they actually look cool in photos because they're all beaten up, and you know what I mean. Like they're kind of a
Yeah.
lot prettier than
They feel
than
like they've been, put through some some tests. You've got some wear on them.
right. And I got like an outdoor setup, like I got a little tent and like that whole
Oh, that's
thing. Yeah, because I was never a gym guy. I just was a runner, and it's funny because my wife is a personal trainer and a gym rat, and I was just like, the gym's not for me. Um, But then my biggest Facebook Marketplace purchase, I bought a rower, and it's like I'm so soaked that I did. Like it's the best purchase I ever made.
I'm telling you, you got people do need they've been sleeping on Facebook Marketplace because I was looking them up. You can get Concept 2 equipment. I mean, most people, the majority of people that are buying this at-home equipment, they're using them as coat hangers now anyway. There's some good stuff on there.
So your fitness journey, though, like what were you doing? HYROX wasn't really around yet. What were you doing leading up to COVID?
Yeah, so still a HYROX newbie. My 1 year is in a few weeks. So March 15th last year was my first race at Houston. And I just kind of dove in once I got there. But during COVID, I was a dental hygienist. And previously I, grew up doing sports. I was always really active, but went to the gym after work with my husband. Like that was my sense of fulfillment. I always say, dental hygiene is an excellent job, but I can't tell you that I had a real passion for scraping teeth. Like it was just a really stable, supportive, it was a great job. And then I could find some fulfillment in doing something that I liked. I liked exercise. So I did that, around my normal 8 to 5. And then COVID shut down my gym. So I was from a really small area, and it was kind of like just a local gym that they didn't actually survive COVID. But in the midst of it, obviously everything shut down. So we're working out from home. We got some Facebook Marketplace dumbbells, and I had this unfinished basement that it was, and I had no following on social media. So if you look at me now, I have a larger platform, but I maybe had like 2,000 followers at the time.
I'll do a little bragging for you. She's at 230K currently. And listen, followers aren't everything, and there's a way to buy them and whatnot, but it is an impressive number, Lexi.
Thank you. I assure you, I would not waste money on buying Instagram followers. But yeah, so I had this unfinished basement, and I always joked because I felt like if I made fun of it first, it wouldn't hurt as bad if somebody else did. So I always called it the Dungem, because it
The
literally
what?
the Dungem.
Like a
Uh,
dungeon, but a
yeah,
dungeon.
yeah, because it's like concrete floor, concrete walls. I said it looked like a scene from Saw. Like it is just a very shabby setup. It's like the stereotypical dungeon or basement where you just keep, excess Christmas supplies and random swatches of paint. But yeah, that was where I that was where I worked out, and I had just these kind of a motley crew of dumbbells that I had gotten off Facebook Marketplace. But throughout that whole time, like I was kind of skeptical of the at-home model because I was someone that had gone to the gym, but I mean, that was just the cards that we were dealt. But at the same breath, I saw that this was also an opportunity for people that wouldn't want to go to a gym or couldn't go to a gym or would be too intimidated or just didn't have the time. Because my dad was like, I can't tell my story without really incorporating him as well, because he had lost a tremendous amount of weight in the couple years leading up to this. So growing up, my dad, he's a firefighter. I always say he was like the toughest guy I know. Just I thought that he hung the moon until when I was in 6th grade, I got pulled out of class because he had a heart attack.
Oh
And
no.
I went to the hospital, and I saw the toughest guy I know hooked up to machines and wearing a hospital gown and not looking tough at all. And he was overweight. Like that was a consequence of the actions that he had taken and the actions he didn't take. And as scary as that would be, like being a dad of four, and you've got kids in elementary school and kids about to go to college. He had another heart attack when I was in junior high, and he had his third heart attack in high school when I was in high school, and he had a fourth heart attack when I was in college. And I was like understandably very scared that I was going to lose my dad because most people don't survive 4 heart attacks. So I felt like, if you don't change your ways, the fifth one, the shoe will drop. So I cowardly wrote him a letter. Like I couldn't have the conversation in person because I couldn't get out the words, like what I wanted to say without being emotional or, just I wouldn't be able to kind of consolidate my thoughts. So I was like, I'm going to write him a letter. I'll leave it on his nightstand. I'll go back to school because I was home for Thanksgiving break. And I'll just tell him, I want you to walk me down the aisle. And right now it doesn't feel like you're going to be there. And I said in the letter, I said, I totally get how unappealing, eating healthier or exercising sounds to you right now, but I would bet that walking down the aisle without your dad would suck exponentially worse. And I'm sure that was just like, I mean, I don't have kids yet, but I bet that was a kick to the gut to hear and to read.
So I have an 18-year-old daughter, and you're legit making me cry. So
yeah, so that was like I just needed to get the words out, and that was the way that I did it. I have that letter. I use it anytime I have any speaking. It's like all tattered, but it's like one of my prized possessions because he gave me that letter back when he lost 100 pounds, and he ended up losing about 120. And in doing that, like the physical was so cool, but like he got a promotion at work. He, him and my mom have the best relationship they've ever had. He plays basketball and will, ride bikes with my nieces and nephews. Like he's an active grandparent. And that was just so cool to see because he was always like, he was such a great dad, but he was watching on the sidelines. He wasn't in it with us, and to see him in that role now, it was super special. So in that same kind of time when COVID shut down and I was working out from home, I was thinking, like he and people like that feel like they're too far behind or feel like, people would make fun of them or it would be an intimidating environment to go into a gym. Like this is an opportunity they can get their foot in the door. They can do workouts from home. It's okay to not know what you're doing in the comfort of your home or, to feel like you look dumb if you're working out in your basement or your garage. So I went for it and I started posting just because I had been, the recipient of that. I got to watch my dad's life transform. And I was like, if I can help one other person do that, there's another daughter out there, another son or another spouse that like, they're going to get a better dad out of the deal. They're going to get, someone else that shows up better. So that was how I started. That's what I've been doing for the past almost 6 years. So I record full length. Like I recorded one not long before this recording here. Be press play and they're dumbbell only workouts. I do the whole workout with you. I'm talking to you the whole time. And yeah, 28 minutes later, we're all done. We get the workout done and we have clients in all 50 states. We've got about 4,000 clients that do these workouts with us. And it's just grown from there. So I did that as I was at a high gym.
But how did you cut through the noise of everyone's doing, like I could not scroll Instagram without somebody's like workout stuff.
Yeah.
Most of them I wasn't very interested in learning from.
Yeah, I honestly, and because I think I started out feeling like this would just be a kind of a COVID project. I didn't have any followers. So I wasn't going into it with like I'm going to take down Beachbody mentality or anything. I really think like and one of our core values is just uncompromising authenticity. Like I think a lot of people receive it really well that I have that story with my dad and I talk about it often and I want them, to show up in it. It is so much far beyond the aesthetics of it. Like I want you to be able to never have to say no to an opportunity because you can't keep up. Like that's my overarching goal. If you have abs, that's awesome. If you get an Instagram post that gets 1,000 likes, kudos, that's a cherry on top. But like, I want you to be able to, carry your grandson around the zoo or play basketball with your daughter, like whatever life asks of you. I never want you to have to say no because you can't keep up.
So, but how did you early on attack the like, okay, I think 28 minutes is going to be the format or
I felt like
at some point you had to start thinking about it like a business. Clearly you have a very sharp business mind now and you learned it along the way. So when did you kind of start to make that shift, I guess?
I felt like 28 minutes was really digestible. Like being less than 30 wasn't a huge commitment, but it was long enough that you could get some intensity in and get an effective workout. But anything longer than 30, especially if you're getting started or if you're trying to squeeze it in during a nap with your kids, like I felt like 30 was a good point that you can justify and be like, okay, well, I can find 28 minutes. I can make that happen.
So, what were you doing? Um, if you just started HYROX, were you just like running 5Ks? What were you doing event wise?
I This is the first time I have competed in anything as an adult, actually. Which so it's been really fun. Like that is what I love the most about HYROX is just the ability to compete in anything. Because I like grew up with sports, but I had never competed. Like I had never even done like a turkey trot.
I was pulling up your account real quick. Um, so when did you start putting on events? Because I looked at your website and like you guys do a ton of events.
Okay, so I do those events, like for my community, like my
Right,
business
but when
events.
did you start? When did you start doing those?
My first one was in the fall of 2020. So my first year of business, and it was really small. Like I probably had 15 people there, and now like we sell out to 300 or 250. We
That's
do a
really hard. That's really hard to do, by the way.
thing. Yeah, it is. It's the community side of things. Like is my bread and butter. That's what I'm super proud of. We have an event actually. We do a 9/11 memorial stair climb, and we had 750 people come to it last September, which was awesome. We raised $60,000.
That's awesome. So, just I want to kind of like let the audience know. So, a lot of people they might be pretty good at engagement and follower gain and even get sponsorships, but getting people to commit to putting their credit card down and then showing up to something is another level. And I think it's because they bought into you and this authenticity you're talking about. And if not, you'd have like 25 people, which is what a lot of people might get, and that could be fine, right, for a group run or whatever. Um, Wherever you're at is where you're at. But I'm saying if you're getting a couple hundred people consistently at these things, then you're just doing a lot of the right things.
Yeah, I think there's certainly no shortage if you've been on Instagram of fit people online that they've got a program, and that is not the novelty I think of what Lexi J Wellness is. It truly is like the connection that we have, the community we have, and a lot of it is because I'm in their ear for 28 minutes. We do the workout and I'm chatting with them, like I'm telling them, about my day or the fact that the last thing I wanted to do was get a workout in, but we're here together, like we're struggling together. I think that there is just a lot of connection there, and they receive that super well because it would be exhausting. One, like it's tiring enough to do a workout and talk through it, but it would be exhausting to show up and bullshit the whole way and like pretend like someone I'm not. So when they meet me in person, it's validating to be like, oh, that's the same girl that's on my screen every day. Because I've met my fair share of big people on social media, and they're not always the same as the pretty little clip that you see on your feed. Like that's disappointing. So I love these events and just the opportunity for them to, for us to have a conversation, to meet, to, you know, validate their trust, because fitness is a big deal. And like you putting your faith in my hands that's not a responsibility I take lightly.
So when you showed up for that first event, what was your goal? So Houston 2025, what was your goal?
So
And you
high
ran
rocks.
open, right? You didn't run pro, right?
Yeah, I ran an open solo. My goal was 115, and I ended up running a 108. But I literally I was so new to HYROX. I didn't even know that they had like I didn't know podiums were a thing, and I found out, I'm not even joking, like 3 months ago, like months and months after the fact, that I got 4th overall. So I was really close to podium, and I wouldn't have even known to stick around. I wouldn't have even known to look for that. Um, so I was very, very new to HYROX. I just did it for like a little personal accomplishment, but I loved being able to compete and having something that, I could actually train towards or compete in individually, because I was like, Lexi J Wellness is my business and I'm working out there, but that is something that I do for them. Like I'm helping train them for something. So this was something that I got to do myself. But yeah, I went into Houston totally blind. I had never pushed a sled until that race, actually, because I'm working out from home. I don't have a sled here. So yeah, I was very raw to it.
Did you go into it with a real plan though? Like these are the run splits I want to have, or did you just say fuck it, let's go?
No, no. And truthfully, this is so embarrassing, but like running is absolutely the area that I can improve in. So it's something that I'm working on now to have more consistent running in my own training plan because I hardly ran before that. I'm like, when someone asks me what my goal splits are, I'm like, I'm just going until my heart can't take it anymore, honestly. Um, and then I know that I can always like catch up on the stations.
So you did a bunch of doubles after that, and then this Phoenix race, the one that just happened, I was also there. You decided to jump in pro, and what was the goal there?
So I wanted sub 70. I really, really want, I signed up for Houston Pro Solo because I've got some unfinished business because I want to beat my open solo time. And
Okay.
that would be about a year into HYROX, which would be neat. So wanted sub 70. I wanted to go unbroken on wall balls for sure. Um, because that's my favorite station. And honestly, I'm a keeper of receipts. So I had posted something talking about wall balls and how I had, we had consistently finished in the top.
Whose favorite station is wall balls, Lexi? Come on.
I know it is. It's a toxic trait. Um, but it is my favorite. But I had posted something like months ago about, I've done 7 high roxes and we always finish in the top 2% on wall balls. This is something that helps me, whatever. And someone had commented and they're like, well, this is really misleading. Like, don't lie to your followers. You only do doubles. So I was like, well, and also
Okay,
to be
motherfucker.
fair,
Okay.
yeah, I've got a chip on my shoulder, and I'm like, to be fair, when I do doubles, I never do less than 80 of the wall balls. So I'm still, doing a lot, but I'm like, I'm gonna make it no doubt. I'm gonna go unbroken on that one just to say,
Well,
all right,
thank God for the haters then. I mean,
yeah.
listen,
No, I love that. I took that
listen,
personally.
there's plenty of fugazi stuff out there. Uh, but I love that someone looked at your times and looked at your fitness and decided to say like, "Oh, you're lying because you do doubles."
Yeah. Yeah, he said, "Don't mislead your people, boo boo." And I was like, that's all you needed to say. Thank you.
Right. Did you go down the rabbit hole of looking at their account because people do that?
Oh yeah. Well, honestly, because I have such a strong community, this is one of the funniest things. Anytime I do get negative comments or troll comments, a lot of my clients
Yeah, they just do the work
do
for
the
you.
heavy lifting for me, and before I even get to them, they're responding and they're like, that's crazy for a man that ran this." Like
Right.
they're in the comments. Yeah.
So this one that you did in Phoenix, you were so 109.23. So were you happy with that? Like anything under 170 was a win, or were you like I wanted to be a little bit faster?
I wanted sub 68, but I was pretty pleased with that for my first pro solo. And I came out of it just like learning a lot more just because I hadn't ran a solo since my first one, and that was obviously open. But I do think like I think that going pro solo, I have an advantage because the heavier weights are not scary to me. Like the runs are always the most challenging thing when it comes to high rocks for me. Like that's just continuing to be a work in progress. And the runs haven't changed. So if the scariest thing about the race for me is something that I'm going to have to do, whether I'm doing doubles or open or anything, then that was kind of a reassuring thing going into it. I'm like, okay, the only thing that has changed is that I just do heavy weight by myself, and that part doesn't intimidate me. Like the scariest part to me has not changed at all. So I can manage that. So that made me feel better and feel like I had a little advantage when it came to doing pro solo rather than open solo. I'm like, okay, well, I may not be able to run as fast as everyone, but I think that I can handle my own when it comes to the station work.
So for the record, 312 was your wall balls, and you were first overall out of all the pro women, which included some elite 15 athletes.
That's pretty cool.
Right?
That's pretty
Were
cool.
you were you in an earlier wave, or were you way behind all them?
I think I was in the third, or I think I was in the third wave. So they were long gone by the time I was there.
Right. Um, that's pretty impressive. Well, it looks like you've got so much room to grow. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you could, like even your. By the way, I'm a regular person, but speaking as a person as a fan of the sport, like your skier could get way better, right? Your push could get way better. Like all
Yeah.
these things, like you've got so much room to grow that you can bring those times way down. It's
Yeah.
not like you're like already at your peak, is what I'm saying. I'm like, well, that's about as good as you're going to get. So for you, do you coach yourself? Do you have someone that's coaching you?
I coach myself, and this is again embarrassing to say because my workouts and what we were talking about previously, like that is my business, and I record 6 of those weekly. Like that has to remain my priority. HYROX can't really replace that because that's my livelihood, and I have a team of 11 people that count on me continuing to show up. So I don't train as much HYROX
Are,
specific
are they
as
all named? Are they all named Lexi, Leslie, or Libby?
Lexi, Leslie, Libby, Alexis, Mikey, Allie, Angela,
Are
Danny,
you are
Megan.
you are you a little biased when you hire these people when you're sitting across from
Yeah,
the table?
basically, you have to have the same name as me or a former nurse. That seems to be the trend.
Okay, gotcha. Just doing a little. Speaking of dentistry, by the way, like, do you know Britt Baker?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, she's a professional wrestler, but she was a former dentist, and people know who
Oh,
she is.
really?
Yeah. Anyway, just
That's an
just
interesting.
just an outside chance if you were a wrestling fan, but you
That's
know,
an interesting swap because I feel like wrestling is a liability to your teeth, probably, or just any sort of
that's actually
contact.
a great. That's actually, yeah. But she goes by Britt Baker DMD. That's her
I
whole
mean,
thing.
it's good job security for her though. If people are having to get crowns put on or things like that.
Right. Um, where were we? Oh yeah, I was looking at your splits and whatnot. But so, looking at your runs, which you said you don't love, you were in the where did it go? I'm looking at high results. Do you dig into your data or not?
A little bit. Um, Not when we do doubles, my husband digs into it much more.
Right. So you're 426. So is that about where you want to be?
No, I ideally I would be around like 416, 418.
Right. Yeah, and you started out early, but not too hot because that's most people's problem.
Yeah,
Is no matter how slow you think you're going, you should probably go even slower in those first two stations, and it's really fucking hard.
yeah, yeah. The adrenaline gets the most of you, and that for sure happened to us in this past weekend in Vegas. That first lap was hot.
Um, have you guys qualified though?
Yes. So I've qualified for mixed and for pro doubles.
Are you going?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm going to Sweden. I am not qualified. But listen,
Yeah.
I'm in an older age group, and it's only getting easier for me as they get older. You just got to hang in there. So it's so funny. But I did talk to somebody today who said he's like, we have people come to our gym like they're 50 years old, and I'm as if it was really old, and it's like I'm over 50 years old. Like 50
There
felt like
was
it when I was 25. 50 years old was like 100.
no, yeah. It's so different, and I agree. Like when I was a teenager, 50 felt ancient, but now that I am an adult, I'm like there are people that are 50 that look exactly like me. They perform just like me. There was a man in Vegas that he did open solo and he's 60 years old. He ran a 102.
Let's go.
Crazy. That's so
Except I don't need a lot of guys like that when I turn 60. I need
yeah.
I want to go to worlds and like I don't want to have. So you're drinking forced firm. Is that on purpose?
It's
Are, are,
part of
are you
the purposeful or not, I was gonna drink it regardless.
okay? Well, I'm not sponsored by any coffee company right now, but I'm enjoying delicious homebrew coffee. So that's my drink this morning. What is your main source of caffeine?
Oh, prior to I'll have a cup of coffee early in the morning, like 5:30, and then it's 11:30 now, so I'm having an energy drink. And it's about a 50-50 split there. I probably get about 200 from each.
Right. Um, do you look at calories and macros every single meal?
No. No,
Do you for the day? Do you try to keep track of it for the day?
no.
You're just dialed in.
Now I've just done it so much that I have a pretty good idea. But like unless I'm on 75 hard and just being super regimented, then like I pretty much eat the same thing. I'm a really boring eater from one day to the next. Um, so yeah,
So how
I
much how much food and or protein or whatever do you pack on these race weekends? Is it half your suitcase?
honest the supplements I was already thinking about that for Sweden because it'll be a much longer trip also. I'm like, I'm gonna have a carry-on suitcase probably full of protein and vitamins.
I would not carry on because people get stopped with that stuff because they get confused. The people at the gates get confused when they see powders. So
Oh yeah.
I would say
Typically
put that not in your carry on.
domestic, I've never had any issues, but I also have never flown international, so that's probably a good point. But size wise, I could legitimately pack a duffel bag, I think, dedicated to like supplements and food.
Do you have your passport?
I do have a passport.
So you and your husband and you and another woman, you like that's who you're partnered up with?
Yep. Yeah. It was kind of funny actually. Um, my doubles partner, so she works with Noble. She was a CrossFit athlete. I don't know if you know who Bailey Rail is. Um, but we were friends and we were going to plan on doing Chicago. She was going to Boston for a Noble event, and Noble had like offered her doubles tickets because they're located in Boston. So she was like, "Do you just want to do it for fun?" We had never trained before. Right before the race, we're walking through and we're like, "Well, I mean, do you want to go first here? Do you want to go first here? Like, what are you better at this?" No strategy whatsoever, and we ended up qualifying. And so that was a happy little surprise. But it was kind of a jokey thing because we were like, we're just going to kind of feel it out. That way we can really race in Chicago. And yeah, right off the rip, we qualified in Boston, and we're gonna race again in Houston. That'll be our last one. We were supposed to race in Vegas, but she had a hurt hamstring. So hopefully that'll be all good in the next few weeks, and then we'll get to have another one under our belt before we head to Sweden.
How many of these events do you do? The ones that you put on? I saw you do like a 5K. You do the stair climb. Like how many events do you do a year?
The 5K is our first ever 5K, and it's a bald 5K. So you have to show up dressed as either a bald character or a famous bald person. It's going to be really funny. I'm going to be Pitbull. But we do an event at least, we average one a month. So we had Galentine's in February. And typically, if they're in Missouri or this region, we get at least 250 people. But next month, so March, we're going to Jacksonville. We're going to do like a ruck at Go Ruck headquarters and a beach workout. That one I'll expect will be much smaller. I think we have like 60 people RSVP'd, but it's tougher to get people because this one is obviously like if you're in this area where I'm located pretty reliably, people will show up. But yeah, just we like to do them every now and then around the US because I have clients everywhere and I don't expect them to travel to Missouri to these monthly workouts, but I want to be able to meet them too. So we're doing our first one in Florida, Jacksonville, March 13th and 14th.
Have you been there your whole life?
Missouri?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I am from a town of 400 in the middle of Missouri. So now I live north of Kansas City, but from a teeny little farm town.
Have you been to Worlds of Fun?
Yeah. Have you been to Worlds of Fun?
I know a guy who the short version is his name's Cole Lindbergh, and I actually interviewed him recently because he had a This American Life episode about him 15 years ago because he was the games manager at Worlds of Fun. And anyway, I've just stayed friends with him. And then he won the U.S. Air Guitar Championship. He's had a very interesting life.
Air Guitar Championship.
Yes, he's the U.S. champion like 2 years ago. He's a really fascinating guy. I'll send you his links.
That's very interesting.
But I know a lot about Worlds of Fun, and I know a lot. And anyway, I know a little bit about. He had a podcast about Kansas City, and I knew him.
Oh, cool.
So anyway, I know a little bit about it, but not a ton.
Yeah, I love Worlds of Fun. I'm a big roller coaster fan. Less of an Oceans of Fun fan, but I'm a big Worlds of Fun.
So why did we do a famous bald person 5K?
I just thought it'd be kind of fun. I think it'd be goofy and fun, and with me getting into HYROX, a lot of my clients are getting a little bit more into running. So I'm like, well, this is a fun way to do a little 5K because 5Ks are a dime a dozen, but not every time can you show up and see a mob of bald women running down the street.
Sure. What about the games, the annual LJW games in August?
Yeah, so that's one of the biggest events. That one sells out super fast. So we'll sell tickets, like 300 tickets, and then once those are all gone, they get distributed into team colors. So I'll have like honorary guests come in and be team captains, or some of my employees will be team captains. And then there are different events throughout the day where they're scoring. Like normally it's like sandbag workout type relay stuff, scoring throughout there, and then you get bragging rights and an LJW games patch. But blue team has won the last 2 years, so they're heading for the three-peat this year.
And how did you get involved with the GoRuck folks?
Um, I honestly, I just rucked myself. I had used a rucker. It's actually, I only work with three brands, and it's uh, GoRuck, First Form, and Garmin. And I was a customer of all three of those prior to working professionally with them. So I also think that that just helps my endorsement. Like when people see that I endorse something, they know it's not bullshit because I don't do that very often. But yeah, I can't remember how. Oh, actually, yes. I had rucked previously. Like I always post on my story. I say "get your ass outside" a lot, or GYAO. You might see that when I post on my story, or my clients will say that.
Unless it's a HYROX, then get your ass indoors. But sure.
Yes, yes. The only exception is New York. Then we can get your ass outside.
Are you signed
Um,
up for New York?
I am. I'm actually, that one's going to be really fun. I'm doing mixed doubles with one of my clients. So there's a couple that are from New York that had found me on online, and they drive like, I want to say they've driven to like 4 different events, round trip like 30 hours, and that like Lexi J wellness events. And then they got interested in HYROX. They just wanted to support us. So they'll come to like my husband and I's HYROX, and they'll drive like to Chicago, or like they're driving to DC, and they're like, oh, it's like an 8-hour drive. That's nothing. It's crazy. So they had watched several of our HYROX, and he had made a comment about like, oh, maybe you and I could do it, kind of joking. I was like, I would absolutely do that. That'd be so fun. Like it's going to be a really cool challenge for him. He's never done one. So he's been training for it. So yeah, I'm going to do it with one of my clients, and it'll be a fun experience. And he's from New York. So kind of his hometown, like his family will get to come watch.
Did you have a hard time getting tickets?
Yes. Yeah. That was brutal.
Yeah, I've told people they actually because of the flex thing, they re-release them. Like people turn them back, so you just got to start checking a couple weeks before.
That's
Like
what happened.
DC, like DC was sold out. You can start looking for DC tickets here pretty soon.
Yeah, that happened with me for the Houston Pro Solo because it was sold out. And now here we are, like a little over a month out from Houston. I was able to snag a Pro Solo ticket. I think that someone had messaged me and saying same deal with Miami. Like there were some Miami tickets that became available.
Right. So you're going to New York, and then so you're going to Houston. Are you doing Miami as well? Are you doing all the North American races?
Basically, I'm not doing Miami, but I will be in DC. Um, I'll do mixed doubles, and then I'll do doubles with a friend, which is going to feel like open weight is going to feel so nice. That's going to be crazy. Light as a
Um,
feather. Um, and then, yeah, so I'll have DC, Houston, and then I'll be at the first weekend of New York.
and then world champs.
Yes.
Alrighty. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to do this, Lexi.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
I'll see you at some of these. I'll be in DC
You will? DC
for
will be
sure.
fun.
Yeah, yeah,
Watching the elite races it's a different thing, whole different ball game. It's so cool.
yeah. Did you come for the night races in Phoenix?
Yeah, I have a couple friends that are racing. Like they both have different doubles partners, but Stephen Pelkifer and Ryan Douglas are some of our friends.
I know
Um,
those guys.
yeah, they're great guys.
Yeah, they've done a really good job with the Elite 15 and these majors. And this one's not a major; it's a regional. But I think they're going to give it the same. Like it'll be televised or YouTube or
Streamed,
whatever.
yeah.
They do a really good job.
I just wish that it wasn't at 9 p.m. because I want for them, I want them to have the acclaim and like the crowd. And at that point, like if everyone else raced all day long,
They
they're
go
headed
home.
home. They're not like, I wish that they had the crowd support like I feel like they deserve.
Yeah, and the singles is a lot more than the doubles. Like people don't even stick around. Like that second night is always way less. It's
Yeah,
earlier than Phoenix though.
it is.
I think it's I think it's 7:30. I think it's 4:30 and 7:30. I have to look.
Well, that's way better. And it's
Um,
Eastern time, so
yes, that's what I really like.
yeah.
I don't like West Coast time. I don't like flying out there. All right. Well, tell folks where to find everything about you.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at LexiJWellness or my website, LexiJWellness.com. Yeah, if you ever have any questions, need some silly little dumbbell workouts, I'm your girl.
All right, cool. We take you off record.
Alrighty.